YouTube is Rico, man. I'm back with another video, and I know y'all wasn't expecting a double upload today at all, man. But I said, you know what? Like I said before a while ago, I said it might be some days I might upload double uploads on my off days. So if you new to the channel, now you know this information. So y'all definitely gotta subscribe and turn on post notifications on so you know when we upload, because you don't want to miss out on the notifications for sure when those videos are uploaded. But other than that, man, y'all see what's going on. We got Young Don, the Sauce God, with another story time. Pretty much, she snuck in and I got kicked out. So y'all already know what kind of video this about to be. It's gonna definitely be entertaining, and we definitely gonna react to it again to it. But other than that, if you're brand new to the channel, like I said before, hit that subscribe button if you're brand new, so that way you can help our channel get more viewership and bigger audience of supporters and stuff like that, because we're on the grind to try to one day hit 5K this year. Well, not this year, obviously the year about to be over, but for 2021. We're trying to basically be at 5K before the end of 2021. So if you're brand new to the channel, man, definitely hit that subscribe button, and also share our channel with your friends, family, etc., so they can also be a part of the family. But other than that, man, yeah, we already got a long video ahead of us. It's 17 minutes and 25 seconds long, so we finna start this screen recording and get started. That's starting the video now.
As I'm fixing my dinner in the kitchen, I see my uncle. He was sitting by himself in the living room couch, his freshly shaved head reflecting the bright fluorescent lights of the 75-inch ultra-wide flat-screen TV mounted on the wall. I could see him clearly, yet there was a darkness on that side of the house.
Snuck a female into the OG crib, man. Yeah, that's definitely a wrong move, man, because some OGs definitely don't play that, man. So y'all definitely gotta pay attention, man. Don't take that risk unless it's somebody that's really worth it, man. At the end of the day, I would say don't do it. Just, it's alright. It's cool if they sneak you into their crib or something, but at the OG cribs of your family, yeah, nah, don't take that chance, because at the end of the day, you're going to be hearing a lot of shit talking going on for a little while and stuff. But if it's her family, you ain't got to worry about all of that, because 9 times out of 10, if y'all not really serious, you ain't going to be hearing from them, or whatever the case is, seeing them again at the end of the day, etc., etc. But let's continue on.
Today's video is sponsored by one of the hottest stress-free idle gameplay RPG adventure games on the market, Mobile Legends Adventure. Filled with mysterious dungeons and mazes, Mobile Legends Adventure has a laid-back, and thank you for supporting me.
Yeah, we're about to get hit with an ad, y'all. I didn't know he started doing sponsorships now, but shout out to him. He's definitely getting that bread then. And that's ultimately what we want to happen in the future for our channel as well, get sponsorships and do promo like that and stuff. So hopefully one day we get something like that. But other than that, we can continue on with this video.
My aunt kicking me out my junior year of high school because one day she came up to my room and it was nasty, bro. It was disgusting, filthy. A mess. I then told you that I had an uncle that came in clutch because he took me in so I wouldn't have to get put on a plane back to Jamaica. Well, the next year, he also kicked me out, which makes me wonder, was I the problem? Well, I'll tell you the story and then you can tell me. So when I moved to my uncle's, I also moved 30 minutes drive away from school, which meant...
And y'all gotta realize, if y'all in a situation like him where he's moving from family member to family member cribs, at the end of the day, all family members are different. Some people are cool with certain stuff going on, but other family members might not be as cool about that family member, about those situations, man. So every family member is different. Different situations and circumstances are cool with them, but with other family members, it might not be cool with them. So you just gotta basically, at the end of the day, follow the homeowner's rules, etc., all that stuff, to be on their good side and not get kicked out at the end of the day. But yeah, man. So pretty much he got kicked out from the aunt crib because the room was nasty and stuff like that. She wasn't for none of that, so got kicked out. The uncle had to come pick him up now and take him in, and yeah. And but at the end of the day, we know he got kicked out of the uncle crib too, man. Like I said, certain stuff you got to figure out what they're cool and not cool with. Period. That's all that is. At the long story short.
There's no more walking to school, bro. You feel me? That's dead. I now needed a ride. And at first, my uncle was taking me. Now, this made me feel bad. Because my uncle worked very hard and was already going a lot out of his way to accommodate me so short notice. To add him having to get up at 6:30 and take me to school, it was a lot. So you can imagine how relieved I felt when I found out that one of my new neighbors was this dude I knew from school. Let's call him Brian. Brian was also a senior. We had a mutual friend through one of my basketball teammates, and most importantly, Brian had a car, which meant he drove to school in the mornings. So one day I asked him if I could ride with him in the mornings, and he said, yeah. I said, bet. I asked my uncle. He was more than on board with it. In fact, he was going to give me $25 a week just to give Brian for gas money. It was a win-win-win for everybody. So Brian starts taking me to school in the mornings, and at first everything's going well. But then one day on the way to school, Brian was like, yo, Don, we about to stop at Kev's house real quick. Link up with some of the boys. Kev was also someone I knew, so I was like, bet, yeah, that's cool. I didn't ask too many questions. So we take a detour from the usual route and end up at Kev's house. We park, and then Brian turns off the car and starts to get out. So I'm like, yo, we not going to school? Brian's like, oh yeah, we about to go. I'm gonna just get some from Kev real quick. I'll be right back. So I'm in the car chilling. About 10 minutes go by, and then Brian comes back out looking very relaxed. He was big chilling. He gets in the car, and I noticed that he now...
And that's the only thing about having friends in high school, man. If y'all travel together to get to school or whatever the case is, not actually taking the school bus and stuff like that, depending on who you is as a person, that might not work out well for you in the long run, just because if you're somebody that definitely need to be at school because of who you stay with, that also requires you to be at school on time every day and stuff, and getting your school work and all that stuff done. School comes first, pretty much, long story short for that. This situation ain't gonna work out well, just because of the simple fact he possibly might be getting to school late now that he going with his friends to school. So the uncle definitely probably ain't gonna be cool with that either. So we gonna find out though, man. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that play into a living situation when you're a teenager in high school, period. You gotta follow the rules, and some of your friends might not have the best interests at heart, depending on the situation, man. Every situation is different. So other than that, we're gonna continue on. But let's not forget, like I said, he pretty much supposed to go to school with his friend now in the mornings, because his uncle works and stuff, and his uncle already got to get up super early to take him back in the beginning. But now that his friend go to school and stuff, the uncle pretty much cool with him going to school now with his friend. So now the problem is, this person likes to take little detours and, get a little of the magic before he go. And now that might cause them to be late sometimes. So the uncle don't know none of this yet, and he probably don't know about it at all. But we gonna see it obviously later on if he do know or find out, whatever the case is. But yeah, now that's gonna bring the uncle back to doing basically the start, pretty much at the beginning of the day when he first moved in. Now he gotta go back to taking him to school. There's a lot of situations that could come out of this whole situation.
Smelled very organic, herbal, some would say. So I was like, okay, I get it. We continue on to school, and we get there like 10, 15 minutes late. Not a big deal. I mean, I didn't like being late, but everyone's late once in a while. Well, once in a while turned into 2 to 4 times a week.
Yeah, what I tell y'all, now that's definitely gonna cause a problem. So he might have found a good problem to be in at first, but now that's turned into a problem that he don't want to be in at all, and definitely the uncle ain't gonna be cool with. So the uncle might end up having to start taking him back to school and stuff, just because he couldn't trust his friend anymore to be taking him to school with him. So we're gonna see.
And remember, my uncle is paying this dude. Also, I wasn't into herbs like that at the time, so it was just starting to be an inconvenience. Still, I was like,
Big facts.
I'd rather do this than ask my uncle again. Plus, I didn't want to snitch, so I was like, I'll figure it out. So my diehard fans would know that when I started my senior year of high school, I wasn't with Taylor. Remember, we had broken up over the summer. Watch this video to get the reference. But a few months into the school year, we got back together. Again, this video explains all of that. So one day, she's dropping me home from school because we now lived kinda in the same direction and we were dating again. She's dropping me home and I'm telling her about the whole morning detours thing, and she gets it, you know? Cause she was an Asian. Know what I mean? I'm Jamaican. We both had strict parents, is what I'm trying to say. We had to be good students. So she's like
I said before, man.
So I'm like, yeah.
School comes first before anything.
You sure you want to do that? She's like, yeah, no problem. So I'm like, okay. All right, problem solved. So she starts picking me up in the morning, and it's going great. I get to spend a little more time with my shawty. Sometimes she would stop at that McDonald's that I got fired from, the one by the LA Fitness off Pines Boulevard. Yeah, that one. She'd stop there, and I'd buy her some breakfast McGriddles, and life was good. For like 2 weeks. Eventually, my uncle noticed that Taylor was taking me to school instead of Brian. So he's like, yo, what's up with that? Not wanting to snitch on Brian, I'd tell him, oh, Taylor lives close, she offered, didn't think it was a big deal. Then he's like, does Taylor's parents know she's picking you up? I'm like, yeah, maybe. Probably not. Nah, they don't know. He's like, well then, Chris, that sounds to me like this is in fact a big deal. That's how he talks to me when he's lecturing me. He's retired from the U.S. Navy, by the way. So
yeah, it's all bad then at the end of the day, man. Cause now his friend, you know, the uncle ain't finna be cool with him finding out that he been going to school late that many times a week. So either way, that whole situation wasn't finna last long with the friends or whoever taking him to school at the end of the day. And I had to close these blinds, y'all, because the sun got real bright. But we should be good now, man. But yeah, man. And then on top of that, they're trained to be super disciplined in the Army. So his uncle probably definitely ain't for none of that either. So once his uncle find out pretty much about the friend situation taking him to school, he definitely ain't gonna want him being took to school by his friend anymore. Cause now you going to school late, depending on if he tell him about the weed, and then that's another problem right there. The friend smokes weed, and I'm pretty sure from the uncle's background from being in the Army, he ain't finna be cool with that. Now the girl, which is his girlfriend again, taking him to school, but if she ain't got permission from her parents to be taking him to school, then he probably ain't gonna be cool with that either. So at the end of the day, it's pretty much gonna go back to now he gotta get back took to school by the uncle at the end of the day. So yeah, like I said, it's all about following the rules, man. If the uncle ain't cool with that, then he gotta do with whatever the uncle is cool with, period.
I'm like, Taylor doesn't seem to mind at all, honestly. Plus, that 25 you give me, I use it to buy us breakfast in the mornings and put a little gas in her car. But my uncle wasn't trying to hear none of that. Because if Taylor were to, let's say, get into an accident with me in the car or on the way to my house, and her parents didn't know that she was making these Uber runs for the boy, it would be a problem. And Taylor's parents wouldn't have been okay with it, to be honest. So I started going with Brian again. And surprise, surprise, guess who's late for school? So now I found myself in a sticky, icky situation. Option 1, continue going with Brian, continue to rack up tardies for being late and then deal with those consequences both at school and home. Option 2, tell my uncle that the whole Brian thing wasn't working out and have him start taking me to school again and just deal with the perpetual sense of feeling like a burden because, like I said...
And I used to hate that growing up, bro. Like, especially in high school years, I used to feel like a burden having my family take me to places and stuff. So when I graduated, you know what I did? I had to cop me a car. Cop the car as soon as senior year was over with. Because at the end of the day, adults, they got a lot of stuff going on and stuff they got to do and stuff to get out the way. So taking you places and stuff, it starts to, depending on who your family is or what they got going on and stuff, situations, all of that, et cetera, plays a big role in having them taking you places, man. Because when I came up, my OGs stayed busy and stuff, and I really didn't have rides to go do a lot of stuff. Like, I wanted to play basketball, do sports in school, but from the distance from where we lived to school, that was definitely asking a lot. Because, one, my mom worked, so not only did she get off of work usually around the afternoon around 4:30 or whatever, but have her come pick me up literally later on that same day from basketball practice would have been asking a lot. So it's like I always felt like, damn, because sometimes the simple answer might just be, the clear cut throat answer would just probably be no at the end of the day. So it is what it is with that. But I definitely know what he's talking about, man. That's why seniors, after they graduate or during senior year, try to get their best to get a car, whether they work or whatever they got going on, by any means, get a car.
My uncle was already doing a lot for me. Like, I haven't even said the half. So there was that. Or option 3, lie to my uncle, tell him that Brian was taking me to school, but have Taylor keep picking me up in the mornings. Guess which one I went with?
Nah, this is gonna be. I'm pretty sure he did option 3. I ain't gonna lie. I think he did option 3.
Now, there was only one major obstacle in the way of pulling off this lie. My uncle lived in a gated community, which meant unless you had a pass on your car to get in, anyone coming in had to go through security. And security would always call the house to verify that you were expecting a guest. So every morning when my girl came to pick me up, the security at the gate would call the house phone. The house phone was kept in the living room. So what I would do is in the mornings, around the time when my girl was going to be pulling up, I would sit in the living room, phone in hand, finger on the trigger. As soon as the phone started ringing, I would answer it. That way, it would only ring for like less than half of a second. On top of which, my aunt and uncle are fast asleep up in their room on the 2nd floor. So there's no way they could have heard it. I did this every single morning. And as far as I could tell, it was working perfectly. I'd give the security the okay to let her in, and I'd walk up the street to a point where the house was out of view, and then me and my girl would drive off into the morning sun, occasionally stopping for bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddles. Because if you get the sausage, you are a psychopath. And life was good, man. Life was good. For like a week. A week goes by, and I started to notice a tension in the house. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but something was off, particularly around my uncle. Now, like I said, my uncle is a U.S. veteran. He has a very stoic demeanor. He's not a mess around silly kind of guy.
Like I said, man, a person coming from an Army background definitely got a lot of discipline that they're trained for and basically get from their peers and stuff. So a lot of stuff ain't gonna slide with the uncle at all. So I'm already knowing that this situation definitely, sneaking the girl in the crib, definitely was the last straw. Tough.
Also, he and his wife, my auntie, run a business together. And they have 2 kids, so I wasn't sure if there was really tension I was feeling or if he was just having a stressful week. Maybe a couple more days go by, and then I get my answer, loud and clear. Late one evening, I came home from basketball practice. One of my teammates dropped me home. I walked through the door, tired, hungry, but happy to be home. I set my stuff down, yell out, "Good night" to everybody, and I made my way to the kitchen to start fixing myself a plate for dinner. As I'm fixing my dinner in the kitchen, I see my uncle. He was sitting by himself in the living room couch, his freshly shaved head reflecting the bright fluorescent lights of the 75-inch ultra-wide flat.
What if it's a big plot twist that the uncle saw, like, pretty much checked the phone call logs and seeing that security man calling every single day? That would be a big ass funny plot twist. Tough. Right when you think everything going smooth and stuff, somehow your uncle pretty much changed the script on you real quick and was basically checking the call logs and noticed that security was literally calling every single day that you go to school. So he gonna put 2 and 2 together and figure it out. But we don't know for sure if that's what's gonna happen. But that's just my opinion and future thought for this video. But we gonna find out if what I said is true.
Flat screen TV mounted on the wall. I could see him clearly, yet there was a darkness on that side of the house. Without looking at me, he says, "Good night, Chris. Hope you had a good day." I'm like, "Yeah, you had a good day. How was your day? You get like a lot of business stuff done and stuff?" He offers some short response, but I noticed that he didn't sound mad. So I'm like, "Oh, okay, we good. Yeah." So I'm getting close to finishing my meal, and then he gets up and goes into the other living room. I guess my aunt and uncle do very well for themselves. So he goes into the other room, and then I hear, "Hey, Chris, can I bother you to join me and auntie in the living room for a moment?" That wasn't a good tone of voice right there. Nope. So I'm like, "Oh, yeah, sure thing, Uncle Glenn." So I go in the room, and I am greeted with just this Game of Thrones vibe, bro. Like, my uncle is sitting in like this big vintage grandfather chair with my sweet auntie standing a little bit to the side, a little bit behind the chair, with one hand delicately perched on the back of the chair. I look at her. On her face, I see sympathy. I look at my uncle. On his face, I saw fury. He was upset.
Ain't none of that for him.
Quiet.
He said, "No, it ain't no sympathy
Staring
about
into
what
my
I'm about to say,
actual
boy."
soul. "Chris, how about you take a seat?" So I take a seat. "Chris, has Brian been taking you to school in the mornings?" And there it was. Instantly, my stomach sunk. I was caught. Didn't even make sense to try and lie. You don't phrase a question like that because you...
At the end of the day, he just go ahead and tell the truth, man. Because one thing I know for sure about my OGs, especially my dad, if they ask you a question, 9 times out of 10, they already know the answer to that question. They just want to see if you're going to tell the truth or lie and try to lie your way out of the truth, pretty much, at the end of the day. So, at this point, he better tell the truth, man, because his uncle definitely ain't finna play that. Simple. Over with. You gotta tell him everything. I don't know about the far as the Brian situation. I don't think he gotta say nothing about that. He just better say to make the situation even better. Because one, he didn't already tell him about how Brian was making them late every single day by going to one of their friends' cribs, smoking weed and all that. But now, it's like, man, you better just say, "Nah, I haven't been having him take me to school. I've been having my girl take me." That's all he better say. And if his uncles say why they been, too, about if he found out pretty much that he been tardy a lot lately, then he probably had no choice but to tell the truth about that whole situation with Brian too as well. But we gonna see, man, with all he knows.
You don't know the answer. No, you do it to see if the person being asked the question has the gall to lie to your face.
He just said what I said. That's crazy. Cause yeah, that's the one thing I learned from my OG for sure.
So I came clean. No, uncle. So how have you been getting to school, Chris? Taylor been taking me. And as soon as I said that, my uncle starts to cuss me out, bro. I'm talking the worst cuss out I've ever gotten in my life by anybody. Now my mom, my dad, coach, teacher, nobody has even come close to that. And this uncle was also born and raised in Jamaica. Mix that with the military service and the alphaness that comes with being a successful self-made man. And also, he's about 6'3", 240, big dude. Bro, he destroyed me with words. I felt so small. Worst I've ever felt in my life about anything, to this day. And that's because everything he said was true. I was ungrateful. I was a liar. I was disrespecting him and my auntie by disobeying a direct order right under their noses. And then he dropped the hammer. He told me that as soon as I finished the school year, I was to get all my things together and to get the you-know-what out of that house. Finally, the clip was empty. All the shots had been fired, and I just sat there, teary-eyed and in shock.
Damn. At that point, yeah. Tough.
And then he asks, what do you say to that? I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to lie to you, but Brian be smoking in the morning.
Oh, this man, he cried and told everything. Tough. I ain't gonna lie. The other approach, he probably should have tried is, I'm sorry for disobeying y'all rules, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. I thank y'all for the opportunity and stuff, because you never know. Depending on what you say might change the previous situation's outcome. You never know. You just gotta try. But at the end of the day, yeah, he told everything. That's tough.
Morning, I didn't want to get caught, and we always late for school, and you and Auntie do so much for me, I didn't want to ask y'all to take me to school no more. And then Taylor was like, she ain't care, so I just did it. I'm sorry, I mean to be a bad nephew. So then my uncle's like, so why didn't you just tell us what was going on? Because I didn't want to snitch on Brian, because he a cool dude. He just making bad choices right now. And they could see that I was truly remorseful. But more importantly, they could tell I was being honest. My uncle got up, stood me up, and then gave me a hug. And it was a real hug. I could tell that my lies had hurt him because he thought he had misjudged my character. But now he saw that my heart.
So at the end of the day, pretty much what I can tell y'all for sure is that the uncle pretty much was thinking that he was trying to play him for a fool and purposely try to disobey his rules and stuff, when that wasn't the case. It was just he was looking out for his friend at the end of the day, and he pretty much was thinking like a kid would think. Like around that time, yeah, depending, even if you is 18, you could still be considered a kid because you in school or whatever the case is. But he was still thinking in the mindset of a kid, young, and just trying his best to make everything better, even though in the end it also possibly hurt some people based off of those decisions, thinking that they really didn't have to go to that route to the point where, all right, I gotta tell on Brian this is going on. Now I got my family looking at Brian crazy. My uncle pretty much got him looking at Brian crazy now, knowing the stuff he know now about Brian. Then on top of that, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. He basically was trying to do everything out the kindness and goodness. Like, he wasn't doing it in an ill intent way. He was trying to do everything in the best way possible to make every thing work, pretty much. So that's at the end of the day what the uncle possibly seen at the end after him telling everything that he said. So I'm pretty sure they back on good terms after that. We gonna see.
Was in a good place. I was just stupid. I was stupid not just because I did what I did, but because I didn't take into consideration that there was a house phone extension on my uncle's night table beside the bed, bro. So every time the security called, he would hear the same half-a-second phone ring every morning at the same time.
Wow, that's why he got caught. I thought it was gonna be that he was checking the call logs or something crazy, like he just like smooth as hell, just didn't even let him know, like, yeah, boy, I've been checking on call logs. But no, this whole time they got a whole second house phone in the bedroom, which is understandable and smart because some back in the day, my OG used to have. Well, no, actually, my OG used to only have one house phone, but my granny actually used to have a house phone in the living room and a phone in the bedroom. So she had multiple house phones. But yeah, the uncle definitely was basically peeping game already. He was just gonna see how long it would take before he finally found out what he needed to know for sure. So that's tough.
Also, I could have probably put my girl's name on the guest list so they wouldn't have to call in the morning. Yeah, just plain old stupid. So all was forgiven, and my uncle started taking me to school in the mornings again, and life was good. Moral of the story, honesty really is the best policy. Or at the very least, don't be stupid. She wanna come.
And that's the truth, man, for sure. At the end of the day, the best way to go is just to be honest from the beginning. Like, you don't want to be that person that's making it hard for people to perceive you as the correct way you would want to be perceived and stuff. Because if you lying and stuff, now they're gonna think that's basically what you is as a person, just a liar and sneaky and stuff like that. You're a sneaky individual that can't be trusted, stuff like that. So yeah, man, at the end of the day, definitely just tell the truth from the beginning, because you never know, that might definitely work out in the long run for your situation. So yeah, but other than that, man, that's pretty much the end of this video, you guys. If you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're brand new, man. And don't forget to tell your family and friends about us and show them our channel and get them to subscribe as well, because they might enjoy this type of content as well too. And don't forget to leave a like and comment as well on the video to help our video get put out to a bigger audience of people and get us more supporters and help us grow on YouTube, man. Because like I said, man, at the end of this year, I want to hopefully get our channel to 5K subscribers, man. So y'all, if y'all been watching our videos but not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Or if this your first time on a video of ours, definitely hit that subscribe button, because you need to expect bangers every single day, which we always put out every single day. Definitely go watch our old videos and all that good stuff, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But other than that, that's all I got to say. And also, one last thing, go to the description box and look at all of our social media pages and follow and add us on them so you can keep up with us on our daily lives outside. So other than that, that's the end of this video, and I'm gonna see y'all later on. Peace.